Hello, and welcome to Virtual Investor Conferences. On behalf of OTC Markets, we're very pleased you joined us for our AI and Technology Conference. Our next presentation is from Secure Private Data. Please note you may submit questions for the presenter in the box to the left of the slides, and you can view a company's availability for one-on-one meetings by clicking Book a Meeting in the top toolbar. At this point, I'm very pleased to welcome Alon Giahi. He's the founder and chief executive officer of Secure Private Data, which trades in the OTCQB venture market under the symbol SWISF and on the CSE under the symbol SKUR. Welcome back, Alon.
Thanks, everyone. Happy to be here. We are now going to watch a video, which I will play. It shows everybody what we do, and then we'll get to the presentation.
In today's world, data is a crucial asset and is also vulnerable to attacks by hackers, with email being the starting point of 91% of all cyber attacks. Protecting your data is paramount, which is where SKUR can help. SKUR offers 3 powerful solutions for safeguarding your data and communications. Secure Mail provides secure communication within and outside the SKUR network. Secure Messenger guarantees private and secure chats with secure and non-secure users. Secure VPN encrypts all your internet traffic and helps protect your online activities and your digital identity from IP hackers. Unlike other companies, Secure uses proprietary technology and SWISF hosting to ensure the data remains confidential. Secure doesn't sell your data to third parties and doesn't use big tech companies to host their solutions. Secure provides a private and secure environment for your digital identity and data. Regain your privacy today. Visit Secure at secure.com.
Hi, did everybody see the video? I'd like to have somebody show me. I'm not sure if it played or not. Yes, perfect. Thank you so much. Can you all see my disclaimer screen now? We have the first slide, which is a disclaimer. Perfect. This is basically a disclaimer to tell everyone that this is not investment advice and there are risks involved in this investment. If you do so, this will be distributed, I'm sure, to everyone where you can read all the fine print. Thank you very much. So Secure is essentially a secure communication platform. We originated in Switzerland, and we have presence in US, Latin America, Africa now as well. We operate out of Canada and US, and our data centers and all the data, as mentioned in that video, is in Switzerland. What we do that is very different is that we offer privacy and security for email messaging, VPNs, etc. So this is kind of our forte, and we also do not use any big tech platform. Today's problem, essentially, you must have read about it here and there, is that the typical email monopoly that we have between Gmail and Microsoft are being compromised. The big tech companies and applications such as WhatsApp, Signal, Telegram, and so forth, data mine you, they're compromised, and there's a huge amount of fraud and cyber hacks at this moment, especially with AI coming into play, where AI is becoming very smart to fool people with email phishing and texting and things like that. What we offer is a solution. So for every problem that we have an email solution that is off big tech, guarantees no email compromise issues. We have closed source business. We don't use open source coding. We use closed source because closed source and proprietary are a lot harder to hack into. And we also do not monitor anything. We don't data mine. We don't monitor your communication, unlike what you have out there today in the public. Our VPN is the only VPN in the world that is commercially available that guarantees you the Swiss privacy law, which dictates that your IP address is your private property. Most of the VPNs use global infrastructures like Amazon, Google, or data center infrastructure and they also are prone to hackers and data mine. Some of them even have been paying huge fines for spying on US citizens. Again, last thing, BEC attack, that's a huge thing that's happening that you read about more and more. It is when an email is compromised, if somebody sends an email with a wire information in it or an invoice, and that is compromised by being intercepted, and then the recipient wires the money to the hackers instead of you. There's huge amounts of BEC attacks. It could be anything from impersonating people, from politicians, Secretary of States, regular businesses, and we have a very simple solution that countermeasures that. Our solutions today are secure mail, secure VPN, and Messenger. What's really unique is that whatever you do with our solution, you can also communicate with non-secure user. I'd be happy to get any kind of requests down the road, and we can send you more information about how that works. But in general, the idea is that this is a great tool for corporate, small businesses, even individuals, and definitely governments. Our messenger is the only affordable, commercially available messenger that complies fully with SEC regulation for archiving and record keeping. In the financial industry, there has been fines up to $6 billion that have been paid to the SEC by large bank and small investment advisors because they're using non-compliant text and applications that we all read about, such as WhatsApp or Signal or Telegram, to communicate with their peers or their clients. Secure Messenger also doesn't record your phone number, so the hackers can't get in. There's no data mining, there's no address mining, and so forth. So again, great tools. We're launching Secure Enterprise, which is a corporate solution. We're launching this next month. This will offer more bells and whistles to larger companies. Our kind of 5 unique selling points is we have our own infrastructure in Switzerland that guarantees you the Swiss data privacy laws, because you could be hosted in Switzerland, but if you're hosted at Amazon in Switzerland, that doesn't comply with Swiss laws. We have our proprietary technology. There's no third parties touching the code. There's no third parties that has access to your information. We offer a fully Swiss hosted application, no Cloud Act, Patriot Act, or Bill 702. Those are different intrusive laws in North America that are active. And even in the EU now, we are outside of those EU regulations because Switzerland is not part of the European Union. We guarantee you privacy, no location mining, no data mining. And we don't put an AI tool in the communication because when you have an AI tool, you're essentially siphoning data and recording everything that goes to the AI companies. So, you know, we all know who they are. They are the big tech. And AI, is, again, is an amazing tool, but it's not a tool that gives you privacy. So we don't inject AI to monitor your communications. And this is basically what our clients want, essentially. The concept of what we do is we basically store everything in a server, or a bunch of servers, and everybody connects to the server and communicates within it instead of sending email over the internet or messages encrypted from a phone, which doesn't have a big encryption facility because the microchips are too small. So encryption is done with multi-million-dollar servers, and this is how we can also communicate with non-secure user, where we can have chat by invite a non-secure user to chat with us on Messenger, or email anybody in the globe with Secure Send, which is a great way to protect your email. I'll encourage everybody to go to secure.com and watch the videos we have on those, especially the email. Market, we have a huge market in the US. Right now, we have about 2,700 users. We just increased our pricing. Since in the last 3 years, our prices have gone up 400%. This is a testament to the value that we bring to people. Our average revenue per user on a consumer base was about $12. As of today, it'll be probably $15 to $20. And we're also focusing mostly right now, we're launching for businesses and corporate. business ARPU is going to be at least $35 and a corporate $75 to $120 per month, depending on what package they buy. So there's definitely a higher average revenue per user, which is great because our profit margins go even larger. The US market is the largest for us. It's got 80 million privacy conscious users. You have 30 million small businesses, all now being compromised and very afraid. And there's a big shift that's happening where businesses are looking for non-big tech solution. We also have government contracts that we're discussing in Africa. We announced in our press release a couple of days ago. And we also have the largest telecom operator in Latin America as a partner. It's called America Móvil, trading under AMX on the New York Stock Exchange. And essentially they are launching Secure Messenger in Mexico. And next year we're going to go to Colombia, Brazil, and other countries. This is basically for corporate use and government use. America Móvil, by the way, has 380 million subscribers. So there's definitely a big market there. This is a purely projection of what we expect in US dollar. We expect to be profitable inside of 12 months, probably in the next 3 quarters. We just did a financing where we raised about 1.2 million US dollars. We just closed it June 30th. It was at about 3.5 cents US. And with that raise, we have plenty of cash, plenty of runway until profitability. This has been the effort of the last few months, and we're finally able to focus on sales and growth and not having to worry about raising money. We have no debt. This is organigram a little bit. We have about 15 people between our technology developers and sales and marketing, 3 independent directors. We're fully NASDAQ compliant in that section where you need 3 independent directors. We filed an F1A to uplist a couple of years ago. We pulled it, but most of the work has been done. We are looking at refiling once we're profitable and uplist at that point. This is a little bit about our board of directors, advisory board. Advisory board, we have 2 very key people in the US with government relations and defense relations. We are now activating those contacts. And we also opened a government and diplomatic office in Washington, D.C., where we are starting to discuss with various embassies about our solution. There's a big market in the diplomatic world. It's a little bit of a cap table. This is post-raise. We have 207 million shares outstanding. Management owns about 45 million. I myself own close to 40 million. 80 to 90 million shares are large shareholders and a couple insiders. These are long-term holders, but 30 million, 35 million overseas Swiss shareholders that are here for the long term, and the rest is just in the float. Everybody can ask me these specific questions after the presentation, or you can also email us at connect@secure.com. Our little roadmap here, we basically are launching email campaigns right now. We started yesterday to small businesses. We are launching to financial and real estate sector and legal sector. We are launching our enterprise solution by the end of the month, the corporate solution and premium solution. This would go, if you're an individual, it would be a high net worth individual, a C-level executive. This is the private jet crowd. Essentially, we are partnering with some of these companies to offer a secure privacy package to their clients. And then the rest of it would be C-level board members and so forth, and all the way down to small business. We have launched our government and diplomatic relations, and we closed our private placement. In Q3, we're expecting to launch with America Móvil, the largest telecom in Latin America, 380 million mobile subscribers. We're launching in Mexico the corporate version of Secure Messenger. We will also develop a voice and video encryption technology, same as what we have now, but now with voice and video conferencing. There's a big demand for that. Basically, that will be done by the end of the year. So that kind of almost concludes the slide here. Discuss about marketing as well, and which industries we excel and so forth. Somebody had just asked a question. Essentially, this is a business with an 85% monthly recurring net income business model. Post partnership, probably 70%. Most of our business is going to be B2B. To answer some question, the marketing is done through partners, and when it's direct, it's through email and digital advertising. The best marketing is really through IT partner and other distributors, essentially. We also are expecting to close a deal with a US mobile operator as well this year or by the end of Q1, and a couple other telecom operators. The solution serves consumer, SMB, corporate, and so forth. So that hopefully that answers. That concludes the basic presentation. I'm going to read a couple of questions here. Somebody asked, can you discuss your sales and marketing resources, typical sales cycle, which industries we excel? So essentially, when it's a small business, so what we're doing is we're testing email and digital marketing right now for small businesses, for family offices, financial organization, real estate, mortgage, etc., which I bundle all into the financial. We are going through certain channels for that, the legal industry as well. Most of our marketing is done through partners when it comes to corporate and premium. If it's a premium individual, we're talking with some security protection services company, private jet companies, and so forth. These premium licenses are $75 to $120 a month. So it's not your typical person that goes on Google and looks for a cheap email. So there's a specific for that. We definitely excel, I would say, in the financial industry. We haven't even started to market the messenger yet. Once we have the corporate solution for messenger, we plan to target the financial industry several ways, through financial resellers, IT companies, publications, and so forth. Also places like LinkedIn and social media, definitely. What percent of the revenue is from government? So let me look at these questions. So hopefully that answers the marketing side of it. The sales cycle, if it's a government solution overseas, I would say it's a 60 to 90-day sales cycle. We're just starting government relations. That's that. We also have a plan to go to independent sales organizations, what they call ISOs. And we're putting a plan together in the East Coast, presenting. We believe if the ISO takes it within 30 to 45 days, it's fairly immediate. We're hoping to get up to 100 ISO agents at the end of the year, selling on average, maybe one account or two accounts a day. That would be about 2,000-3,000 accounts a month or users. Just for perspective, for everybody to know, we basically need to close about 1,000 users for us to be profitable. So between the millions of target that we have on email and digital and thousands of accounts that we expect to get through sales organizations that are fully commissioned, and also other high-level law firms, governments, etc., we believe we're going to be profitable very fast. The government versus commercial, where do you see the growth? Well, so what happens is that in the US, we're not touching the government yet. We've had some talks with CBP, ex-CBP heads, Customs Border Protection. We have through our advisory board contacts to government organization, defense and military. We're going to tap into that. The most advanced discussion that we have and that we know we're going to close are in 2 countries in Africa where we announced a couple of days ago the appointment of somebody that's very qualified to manage that, both in Angola and Democratic Republic of Congo. We are already discussing with the government. I can't discuss more than that. These are private discussion. I believe that and commercial at the same time. So what's good with the government is that in overseas countries, emerging markets, where there's zero security, and there Africa, 8 out of the top 20 targeted countries are in Africa. The numbers are big. You know, you can go to, I don't know, Department of Transportation. There's 100,000 people. The DRC has 110 million people. Granted, they're not all going to buy SKUR. However, we see at least 500,000 to 1 million qualified leads, whether it's government or corporate. Angola has some of the richest oil companies in the world. These executives definitely would buy that. There's oil services. So these are countries where you have huge mineral resource, and there's definitely a big risk of cyber in those countries. So I would say by the end of the year, our goal is to close at least one government deal and a telecom deal. So telecom deals are basically, we go to, you know, their phone companies like AT&T. They would have maybe, you know, 10, 20, 30 million users, and this would be a solution that would be sold to corporates. We believe that with a telecom operator as partner, granted half of the revenue goes to them, we can achieve very big numbers. What percentage of your revenue is that? How many shares do you own? Where are you expecting to be profitable? Somebody asked that. I own myself close to 40 million shares. I participated in the last placement and the one before, and we expect to be profitable. I'm going to be very conservative here, inside of 12 months. That's the best I can tell you. However, we have enough cash that even if it would take 20 months, we would make it. So we hope to be profitable in 3 quarters, so by the end of Q1, and we have plenty of cash for that. So hopefully that answers that question. Our visibility to profitability will be more clear in September, October, when we start to close some of these deals in Africa, and when we have also the ISOs in the US started. You know, if we see they're doing a great job and it's growing, we could be profitable by the end of this year. An example to that person, we're discussing with one law firm in DC that is present in 40 countries, and they have 1,500 lawyers. If 500 licenses are sold from one law firm, we become profitable because we already generate cash. We generate about $22,000 a month, and to be profitable, we need to generate 55,000. So we're missing about 35,000. We have a negative cash flow of 35,000 a month. We have over $1 million cash in the bank and no debt. 1,000 license will get us 35K. These are basic email licenses. Hopefully I was able to answer. Okay, what is your cash balance? And then you need to raise capital in next year. Now, we have a cash balance of $1 million. We project to burn $500,000 until we're profitable. So there's no need to raise cash. I think the next level for us, once we're profitable, is to do an uplisting, you know, on a senior exchange in the US. So at that point, yes, we would raise cash at the uplisting. There's no need to raise cash. We just closed a large placement June 30th, which I also participated. So did our CFO. Can you discuss your sales marketing resource? We also have some shareholders that came in. One of them owns a very big marketing company as well. We're discussing with our own shareholders who are the best. They're essentially the best speakers for SKUR. They all want us to succeed. Explain how revenue will increase in 26 while expenses will stay flat. That's a super question. So our expenses are essentially almost tapped out. I think if we have, let's say, even 1 million users, we probably would spend, you know, 75,000 a month instead of 55. 1 million user would get us like 20 million a month. The reason is that this is a business that doesn't require a lot of people. We already have our engineering, we have our support. The only cost expansion would be servers. So in that case, every $500,000 investment can get us up to 1 million user in infrastructure. So 1 million user at this price today is minimum 20 million a month. we spend $500,000 over 4 years to amortize everything. You can tell the margin are just huge. So the cost of increase is not really relatable. We have a bare minimum cost to maintain the company, and that would be about $600,000-$700,000 a year, and that's why the cost doesn't go up as the user base goes up, because everything is already built, and our support is very light. The system doesn't require a lot of support. I hope that explains. Also, in 2026, a lot of the revenue will come from what we call the premium licenses. Our strategy is to sell $750 to $1,200 packages per year, and you don't need as many people to be profitable at that rate as if instead of selling, a $10 a month package. So we get a couple thousand users on that, would be nothing. That's $2.4 million, and it doesn't take more people for us to sell them, because we have those relationships in sales already with sales channel, distributors, and a revenue share model. We also have an affiliate program that we're going to start, and we're probably going to push that in Q4. Affiliates earn up to 20% on anything that we sell. We have a platform ready to go that we pay $200 a month to essentially monitor the SaaS model affiliate. We also announced way back, but we'll announce now the official start. We have a couple of cloud marketplaces. These are marketplaces where startup and small business would go and buy different type of software, from Zoom to us to something else, and we already are in one of those platforms. So cloud marketplaces are a great place to push to small businesses. The rev share is between 25 to 40, 50%. Again, because we have a huge margin, we can afford to do that. So the model is basically distribution and also direct. Direct, we're very good at direct with government and high level. We can put an ad in a magazine that caters to high net worth individuals and pay $10,000. We may get like maybe 20 people out of that, or 30, and that would be a $60,000 revenue. So hopefully that explains. Any other question? I should mention that our management, except the CFO, obviously doesn't take a salary. So my philosophy myself is to get essentially dividend down the road. And if there is a salary, it's when we're profitable. That's how we're able to keep expenses very tight. Okay, somebody asked, in person, how confident are we in our future profitability? We're ultra confident, because we're such an advanced rate now that we know we will be profitable, because we're selling every day and we're getting more and more demand. If it was a couple of years ago, we're burning like $300,000-$400,000 a month instead of $60,000. That's different. And also a couple of years ago, everybody was swearing by Outlook and WhatsApp and Signal. Today, all of these companies have been debunked. It's a catastrophe, from Signal to WhatsApp. Outlook is being hacked. So there's huge demand. In fact, the government of Denmark, I should mention that, decided to completely cut off Microsoft. So they're eliminating all Microsoft usage. And this is a trend that's going to be bigger and bigger, because these big companies are data miners. Government and big companies want that. I should add, this is for the gentleman that just asked that, I should add that we have a product called Sekur Suite, which was actually our very first product from 10 years ago. That product will be revamped next year. This is a version of a Google Drive or Microsoft Drive, except that it's private in Swiss cloud. There's big demand for that now, whereas when we started, we were competing with Microsoft. Today, we're getting big companies coming to us to see if they can store their data and their document and file on a private cloud like ours in Switzerland. So to give you an idea, this gentleman that just asked, America Mobile has 4 million companies in Mexico alone. We're starting with them. If we just sell 2,000 users with them, we're profitable. So That's just one. We have the Africa deals that we know we are closing. We can't do too much detail right now, so we're very, very comfortable in our profitability target, again, inside of 12 months. What we do with the free cash flow? Well, we plan to build a browser, a privacy browser next year, to build a full ecosystem of a privacy solution, and then essentially expanding the reach. That's what we plan to do, to a point where eventually we can pay a dividend, maybe 3 years down the road. What if Microsoft and other big tech actually improve their data issue? They don't, and I'll tell you why. It's not a threat for us because nobody trusts Google for privacy. Nobody trusts Microsoft either. They make more money data mining us than selling product. That's the business model. They make thousands of dollars a year per user. So, you know, if Microsoft wanted to have a real privacy solution, they would have done it by now. And now with AI injected into everything and embedded into everything, it has made the privacy issue a heck of a lot worse. So if it was a threat maybe a couple of years ago, today we know as a fact it will never be a threat, because once you embed AI and data mine to that level, you're definitely not going to fool people and say, we offer you full privacy. So hopefully that answers your question. I mean, he wants to know what are the risks. Anything can go wrong. You have to look at the disclaimer that we have on that slide. As far as I know, if we proceed carefully the way we're doing now that the money has been raised, we would never invest ourselves in the company if we didn't think there would be a success. There's a risk in everything, even when you put your money in the bank. I think that's the best answer I can give you. And that has been proven with Silicon Valley Bank and other banks that went bankrupt. There's a risk in everything you do. The minute you put your money someplace, you do have a risk. You have an office in Miami. We have a virtual office because we have a US subsidiary. Right now, we don't need employees yet, but probably in a year or so, when we're going to have an employee, we're probably going to have somebody in Miami. But we do have an office in Miami for our US corporate. I spend 3 months a year in Florida meeting partners, shareholders, and so forth. And then there was another question. Are the other companies that have tried to do what Sekur doing in the past, did they succeed or fail? There's nobody that tried to do that because it takes, a lot of money and time. Most people go for the quick money, which is data mining, data grab. I haven't seen one company that offers I call it the Swiss Army knife of privacy, tools and security, that really care that much. Most companies that get funded, they go right away to AWS for processing and storage. It's cheap. And the first thing they do is try to see how they can make money from big data. There's one company I'm sure people hear about it called Proton Mail. Proton is funded by the EU government grants. It's now a non-profit. It's a fully government-owned much organization. They have been hacked several times, and last year in October, 4,000 staffers from DC were hacked and their data was in the dark web. By the way, Washington DC Congress asked their staffers a couple of weeks ago to remove WhatsApp completely from their phone. So short answer, no, there hasn't been a company that had that kind of product range that has started, because it takes more time and it's difficult and people want a data mine. It's a lot more profitable at the beginning. A few years ago, people didn't want to buy our product that much, didn't care. Today, there's a huge surge in demand because privacy is becoming more and more valuable. Let me see. Sorry, question 14. Who are your main competitors? We have actually, a competitor that has everything, there's none. In the messenger, there's zero competition. In the email, we will be competing with maybe 1 or 2 companies, but they don't offer the corporate version. The corporate solution and enterprise has tons of bells and whistles. And there's no company in the world that offers a messenger where you don't need to put your phone number at all and where you can message with non-users, essentially people who don't have that. So there's hardly any competition. There's a couple of companies that offer some good email solutions, but they're all going into these big tech open source hosted by Amazon. So there's hardly any competition. Microsoft is not a competitor. I'm talking about small company. There's a company called Tutanota in Germany, but they do mostly private individual and they only offer email. So hopefully that answers your question about competition. How do you measure the ways in which you're successful in running a business? Here's my simple answer. I'm the largest shareholder in the company. To be successful is to make sure that you achieve your goals that you set. We've had a very rough ride in the micro caps in the last couple of years. I'm sure some of you know. But at the end of the day, if in a year from now the stock price is a lot higher than today, I've achieved my mission. My prime directive is to make sure the shareholders are happy and make money in the long run, and that the company is profitable and offers the privacy and security that we promise to offer to everyone that uses our solution. If the people love the product and they like it, that is success for us. And also in terms of the share price, even though we can't control those things down the road, when you offer a better return, more sales, profits, the market eventually realizes that. And if in a year from now the share price is a lot higher than today, that would be a success. Right? I can ask my shareholder, that's the answer they would give me. What could prevent Sekur from reaching its objective in the next 10 years? I love these questions because they're not talking about 6 months from now. Well, I would say potential regulatory changes in Switzerland, but still we would have features others don't. I mean, the only thing that could kind of be a bit sad is that if Switzerland changes its privacy laws, there was a rule that was proposed by a group that got crushed. It's not about to happen in Switzerland. I'm Swiss myself. They have a different voting system in that country. It's all referendum. So the only thing that could not prevent our objective to that person that asked, but that would kind of, we may need to reposition the messaging. It would be that. I would say if it was before June, I would say money. Money is a huge thing, fundraising. Today, we've reduced our budgets and our losses by 50% a year every year, by the way. If we can run a company with $55,000 a month and we have $1 million in the bank and we're just negative cash flow 30K, it's not going to be hard to get that 30K. So before the money raise, I would tell you money raise, fundraise would be a huge thing. Just closed it. It's fully public, by the way. And now we're comfortable that we have enough and even more than what we need. But before that, I'm going to say fundraising was a huge, huge issue. I'm sure I'm not the only company that would tell you that. What other markets are you targeting next 24 months? Another fantastic question. So we're targeting, obviously, Latin America because we have a huge partner, the largest telecom in the entire continent, Africa. And also, we will announce 4 deals in Europe, certain countries in Europe. I can't tell you which one because the news hasn't been out. And we also have the largest South Asian telecom as a partner. It's called Axiata. It's from Malaysia. They have 180 million subscribers. And we were doing deals in Sri Lanka with them just around COVID. And when COVID came, everything went to a halt. And just a few days ago, we got a request for a government contract with 5,000 users, and we're going to basically give them a proposal. So I think if it's Africa has a huge potential, Europe is selective, the US and Latin America is always good, and the next market would be South Asia. We hope to get from Sri Lanka, maybe some other countries. In the next 24 months, that would be it, because you got to go with where you know that you have the right contacts and where you know there's big growth. What is the amount of clients that already signed for 2026? Based on your estimate, I'm struggling to understand where does the figure come from. So we have about 2,700 users today. The figure comes from calculation of what we expect to close, some of it in the US, and then some of it overseas, premium and government contract. The estimate on the slide here, we can go to it here. I guess I have to do this. I really love these questions, and I encourage everybody to email us, and we can have some discussions as well. So we're expecting, the 3,600 consumers, I call it, it's basically through online. It's advertising, it's social, it's word of mouth, it's just things like that. The 13,000 B2B and corporate, it's exactly that. It's B2B, meaning through partners. These would be financial, legal, etc., and also government. I mean, if I take the government of one of the countries in Africa, we could have 100,000 people on the system. If one telecom does a deal, it could be 25,000, not 13,000 from one client. So this is a highly, highly conservative estimate that we came up with. This is how we project the client base. Through existing partner and what they tell us and what we feel they can achieve. Obviously, disclaimer, nothing is guaranteed. This is, in our book, an extremely conservative estimate. Why would you want to do dividend if you're a large shareholder? Buybacks should create more value, increase your ownership. So why the dividend? That's a board decision. That's not just me. The direction would be dividends. Share buybacks depend what your float is. You do need liquidity in the market. So I don't think we're going to do share buybacks anytime soon, especially if you're going to senior exchange. So this is down the road. We can't make a prediction. The idea is to give dividend because you also get on the radar of funds that buy only dividend stocks. So instead of a short-term boost and a buyback that may or may not do anything to the share price, if you're on the radar of funds that only buy dividend stock, I would argue that your share price will be better distributed, and the share price would increase by default when you have suddenly huge funds that are dividend funds that are buying your shares. So hopefully that answers. Okay, now the subscriber that have signed, they would be in the 2025. So out of the 2026, yeah, actually, so in 2026, somebody said I think it's the same person, out of the 2026 subscriber, yeah, the ones that are signed now, and we calculate a churn rate in line with what we see today, some of them already exist. In the B2B, it's hardly noticeable. We have projections that we know who and where. When it comes to the consumers, organic growth, yes, maybe 2,000 of them already are in it now. Hopefully that helps. If you sign in, you're already in the 2025. If you are in 2026, it's because you haven't signed in yet. We're discussing or we're projecting. It's an estimation based on the market, as you said. Sorry, I just read your question. I hope that, okay. Okay, how do you feel about reverse splits? That's a super question. Here's what I've been an investor since 1985 myself. The reverse splits, if it's a cosmetic reverse split to uplist, when the company is not losing, 10 million a year, I don't see an issue with it, because if it's cosmetic, it's cosmetic because you need that initial $4 or $3 price to uplist. If it's a company that's still burning 400 or 500 grand a month, and they're doing a reverse split because is there live support to go on NASDAQ to raise 10 million? I would say yes, that's not the best way. Our structure now, even if we were to do it today, which we're not, is our loss is so small on a monthly basis, especially from September onward, that we can consider ourselves almost break even. We've talked to a lot of financial institutions and investors. By the time we do the uplisting, the plan is to be profitable. So when you're profitable and you do a reverse for an uplisting, it means you're getting money to expand the business. And if you have zero debt and you're not losing a few $100,000 a month, I don't see an issue with that at all. None of our large shareholder or board members sees that. Hopefully that answered. And then really want to know, how long do you spend talking to investors, and what would you be doing if you were not publicly traded? I'm publicly traded, so I don't know what I would be doing if I wasn't. I would still build a business. How long do I spend talking to investors? I'm available all the time, as much as I can. I have a group of investors that I talk to a lot. Most of them invested in private placement. Some of them haven't. I don't know. We have over 2,000 shareholders, and I'm happy to talk to any of our investors and giving them discussions. And this obviously would only be stuff that's already public. And I love talking to my investors because I can also convert them into using SKUR as a product, and have them being kind of a distributor loudspeaker for SKUR. The more shareholders you speak to, I would say the better if you're in a public company, because you really invigorate everybody, and I think owning a piece of a company is a big deal. So if you're a proud shareholder, you're going to do great things for the company. Shareholders are our friends. Thank you. That was a good session. We still have some time, or not? I'm not sure. But, time to. Okay, so last question. Please, can everybody write down? And I'm hoping the presentation company will get you. Email me at connect@sekur.com, CONNET@sekur.com. I would recommend everybody to do that. It's here too. You can always look us up. Get in contact. Any last question? Which of the big tech companies stock would you short? I don't short anything, but I do own Amazon for the last few years. What I don't play the market. I'd like to answer this question. Here's my philosophy. I used to do stock investments and all that. My philosophy has changed. Outside of 2 or 3 private placements that I have done and I keep for 2, 3, 4 years, I don't buy stocks, because the amount of shares that I own in SKUR, I'm better focusing on SKUR than buying shares, because every time the stock goes up by a penny, my net asset goes up by $400,000. I can't do that with any other share. So I don't buy stocks. I don't short stocks. I have opinions on some of them. I've seen stocks that trade at 160,000 times sales. We're trading at 20 times last year's sales. So I'm going to say SKUR is a better investment. I keep Amazon. I don't even look at it that much. I think Amazon didn't have a great year the last year or so, but I think now they can get back up. But I'm not that smart to be able to invest in short and things like that. But I like the question. So I don't invest in anything except SKUR. That's my short answer. All right, if everybody's done. The person that asked me that question, please make sure you email me. Also, the other one, there was a few, the Miami one, there was the market. The person asked about which other market. There was a lady that asked which markets are you targeting next 24 months. I'm not allowed to give names here, but you all know who you are. Who are your main competitors? There was somebody that asked that. So, and there was also how many shares do I own? That was a great question. Please feel free to reach out. What's our cash balance? I want everybody to reach out to me And, you know, I'd love to build a relationship with you guys. So thank you very much. If there's nothing else, I think we went over the time already. I thought this was a great section. And by the way, if you want to have Sekur, I'm going to do a pitch here. You go to sekur.com if you want to buy the product with promo code privacy, and you get 15% off for the next 5 years. So sekur.com, promo code privacy, get 15% off. Thanks, everyone.